Although not the largest or most impressive of shipwrecks, HMAS Sydney is one of the most important discoveries of the modern age. Her sinking had long been a mystery, with little information or details.
Hi, my name is Isabella Kennedy and I'm an artist and arts educator. I think a lot of my art is driven by personal stories and relationships, but also I think an interest in memory, the ways that we remember, and that's familial memory, but also like national memory and ideas of nationhood and what we choose to kind of remember and highlight. Ballast is about my, or it departs at least from my dad's research project, my late father's project on the HMAS Sydney, and his connection to it was that his uncle had gone down with the ship. He was a second-class stoker on the HMAS Sydney in 1941, and the family they didn't know what had happened. You know, I think over 600 people were also on board, and I was interested in it because I suppose in some way for the same reason my dad was interested in it, and that reasoning being is, I suppose, that he wanted to understand, or he had a lot of trauma. He was surrounded by narratives of war and was also really affected by them because of the PTSD that was brought home and around him, among other things. So his approach was kind of dissimilar in that he was somewhat valorizing it, even though he wasn't. He was a pacifist. He didn't agree with war. He still had, I suppose, the hangover of the kind of myth of the Anzac, and I think it was, you know, a bid for him to also connect with his dad. And in a way, it's strange. I realise now I'm kind of like, you know, I'm doing that. I'm approaching it in a different way, and I think thinking about what it means to remember as well, because I think, you know, that narrative, it doesn't really serve anyone at the end of the day. I mean, I think he's an inspiration that he gave me my, you know, or shared with me his joy in learning and just interest in the world and in art and in stories and storytelling. He was a writer as well. I'm interested in kind of the monumentalization of war as well, and you know, memorials in general. And I wanted to create something that was both the memorial and approaching a kind of quite a, you know, close and heavy subject with some degree of like levity and kind of and care and gentleness. What does it mean to make a monument or a memorial out of something that can be dismantled?